Who is Ahmed Roach? Can you remember when you first started thinking that you were going to be an entrepreneur and run your own business? Can you remember how you got your first customer? Ahmed, are you ready for some quick fire questions? Welcome to the JOD Pod, a micro podcast where we interview CEOs, founders, entrepreneurs, authors, and coaches. Today we are joined by Ahmed Roach, founder of Camel Business Solutions. Good to have you with us today, Ahmed.
Nice to be here.
For those of us who don't know who you are and what you do, Ahmed, can you introduce yourself? Who is Ahmed Roach?
Yeah, right now I'm a digital marketing consultant, so I help design and build digital strategies for businesses, really getting their messaging down, building out their sales funnels, and making sure that they're once they have their product and service built, that they're actually selling it and that they have an automated selling system in place, so that they're not wasting their time trying to figure out how to do marketing when they want to be focused on their fulfillment and delivery. So I didn't expect myself to be in marketing. As a kid, I was really into technology and programming. So I thought going the entrepreneur route, I would be in a startup, go down to Silicon Valley, and then I got into finance. So I thought I'd get into finance, and then I caught the marketing bug. So that's what I finally ran with.
Man, that's cool. Like, talking about what your business does, I think it's interesting because I think a lot of us that are in marketing talk to founders and entrepreneurs about what they're doing and about their business, and they're so product focused that they don't kind of have an appreciation of marketing and how marketing actually works. And it's good for them to partner with someone like you who's a specialist in what you do, and they can kind of get results while they can concentrate on the product. Is that the kind of relationship that you have with most of your clients?
Yeah. It's kind of like a virtual CMO. If you don't have the capacity internally, or you don't have the kind of the right strategy in place to build out your marketing, and maybe you don't even have the technical expertise to do all the marketing digitally that we have these days. So that's what I help with.
Fantastic. Now, one of the things that we're trying to do on the JOD Pod is encourage other people to step out their comfort zones and create and build some of their own things. You mentioned that you've always kind of thinking about entrepreneurialism as a thing. Can you remember when you first started thinking that you were going to be an entrepreneur and run your own business?
Yeah, so it was really, really early. As a kid, I really like exploring new things. So for me back then it was technology. So I was like 12, and I was like 12 to like 14. I was like dead set on starting a startup. So it's really just
that early. Wow.
Yeah. I was like, that's what my life's going to be. I'm gonna go to California. So I think it's been there for a long time, I guess, just because I've always been kind of independent. I always wanted to really just mess around with whatever interests me at the moment and do my own thing.
Nice. That's fantastic. And one of the big obstacles that we see that a lot of new business owners go through is that they do all the shiny stuff. They do their website, they do their social media, they print the brochures and the business cards, but they forget about customers. And I was wondering, can you remember when you set up Camel Business Solutions, how you got your first customer? Like, what was the actual process you went through to get them to start paying you? Yeah.
So that's definitely a big issue. Mostly it's a mindset thing. The hardest, the most important thing is going to be the one thing that your mind is going to try to get you to not do. So when you start doing important work, there's all the distractions are going to start coming up. So I guess one day I just sat down when I'm starting. I'd invested in coaching programs, getting all the knowledge and the foundations done. And I didn't worry too much about a website or stuff like that. Set up my LinkedIn, and I just started messaging people, see what's going on in the market, see people have any pains. Really just understanding the market pains is the first big step for any business.
And so you were messaging people direct on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
asking questions, listening to pains.
Yeah.
Like, can you remember the first person to turn around and say, "Yes, here's some money. Like, let's do this"?
Yeah, I do remember that. The crazy thing was, I started LinkedIn messaging. That was like kind of the uncomfortable thing,
Yeah.
if you haven't done it before. And then like 2 days later, I was on my first sales call, and I actually closed my first deal, my first sales call. So that was really a big motivator to get the momentum.
That's incredible. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people go, don't expect people that if you're listening to this, you're just going to jump on LinkedIn and start messaging people, and 2 days later you're going to be on a sales call and start a relationship. But
that was mostly luck, because after that it was like kind of a long drought.
right.
Yeah, that was sometimes it happens. Sometimes you really have to put in the work, but you really have to put in the work whether you get that first one or not.
Yeah, and I think one of those things about putting in the work, people think that it's a hustle or a sale, kind of very sales focused activity. But essentially, what you're doing is you're kind of increasing your luck surface area. That eventually you will meet people that value what you do and are willing to pay you for that service. So that's where the kind of one-to-one approach, certainly when you're just started, when you're starting, is really important. So can you deep dive a little bit more about what you're doing now for clients and what that actually looks like?
Yeah, so most of the time it's businesses that really don't have a marketing strategy in place. So the first step is really getting the foundations, like teaching the foundations of it. It's not about the features of your product or service, it's about the benefits, and then helping them understand how to identify the pains, how to talk to clients, and then how to kind of test out the market if they haven't really validated what they're doing. That's the first step, and then the second step is actually building out sales funnels. That's how to get leads, and then how to actually convert them into how to convert visitors into leads, and how to convert those leads into actual paying customers.
And is there a particular kind of niche or type of business that you're working with?
Not specifically right now. It's really just businesses that don't have the capacity or the strategy to do their marketing in-house.
So is you doing B2B and B2C?
Yeah, B2B mostly.
Right. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
And what would be I'm just thinking if one of your ideal clients, for example, might be listening to this. What would be the kind of internal self-monologue or pain that they're going through that would make it an absolute no-brainer for them to reach out and have a chat with you?
Yeah, if you spent a ton of your time building out your product, if you spend a ton of your time refining your product or service, and then it gets time to sell it, and you're having trouble navigating the online world, and you're having trouble really getting the sales you need to get started. That's who I talk to. If you don't have the strategies in place, and if you don't want to spend your time on the strategies, and if you want to just reduce your overwhelm and focus on really fulfilling your product or service, which is probably why you got in the business in the first place.
Yeah. I think there's still a big myth out there, particularly in like B2B tech and service businesses, where there's a kind of build it and they will come mentality, rather than actually build an audience or get talking to your ideal client. And it's frustrating because like there's always one example out of 100 where a company actually has been successful using the build it and they will come paradigm. And the other 99 point at that one, and they use that as a reason for not doing marketing. But essentially, you need to do marketing to get yourself in front of your ideal client. Yeah,
and marketing should really be done first. If you don't know what pain you're solving, you might waste time building something, or doing a lot of effort in something that's not going to sell. So then you have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, it's a common issue. Don't get caught up in it. anybody listening, like, know your audience, know your clients, know your customers, and start relationships with them, definitely. Ahmed, are you ready for some quick fire questions?
Yep.
What's your favourite app or SaaS product that you use every day?
I use Documents. It's a nice little iPhone app. It has file storage. It's like a music and audio player as well, and it has a web browser embedded. So it's really nice.
Does everything.
It's really nice for efficient file storage is what I use it for. Like if I'm saving PDFs on my phone, or ebooks, and then I have some like audio files on it if I want to listen to. So it's really nice.
Nice one. You'll have to send us the link to that one so I can connect to it. I've never heard of that, so I like new things. Appreciate that one. What's your most recommended book?
Right now, Psycho-Cybernetics.
Can you explain that a little bit? Because I've read that, but it's a great book.
You've read it?
Yeah.
It is a great book. It's really about kind of training your mind for success. How to kind of visualize the outcome that you want beforehand, and then developing the consistency and the kind of the mental confidence.
Yeah.
To achieve whatever goal you want to achieve.
Yeah. It's got a crazy title, but then it's a really applicable, quite deep book, and it gives you some really practical methods for kind of mastering your mindset, doesn't it? Psycho-Cybernetics, really great recommendation. Thanks for mentioning that on the JOD Pod. I appreciate it. Who's your favourite YouTuber or podcaster?
Benjamin Hardy. He's a motivational and kind of mindset YouTuber. He has really kind of potent videos to kind of drill down mindset and productivity topics.
Again, that's a new one on me. I haven't come across Benjamin Hardy yet.
He's known for his articles, not for his YouTube, but he does have a YouTube channel.
Wonderful. We'll definitely check out. And who's an up and comer? Who's someone that you think we should be keeping an eye on for the future, like a future Huffington, Bezos, or Musk?
Ooh, that's a hard one. One I know right now is Taylor Welch. Never.
No, you're defeating me on your knowledge today. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think he's already made it there, but he's also he's in a lot of different industries. He's in real estate, he's in sales, he's in marketing. He has a bunch of companies, and he's also really good about the mindset stuff. If you want a good podcast, he has a podcast called Daily Mind Medicine. It's like short 5-minute kind of productivity tips. Unfortunately, I think he just ended it this week. But
sorry, there's a space for a new podcast to come through, Ahmed. Don't you worry about that. This will replace that. That's great. We'll link to Taylor, because again, it's not someone that I've come across, but it's one of the reasons I asked that question, because you never know who people know or might be spotting that they're on their way up or on an upward trajectory. That's really interesting. And what's the best way for people to get in contact with you and talk to you online, Ahmed?
Yeah, best way probably would be LinkedIn. Shoot me a message there. I'm pretty active on.
Fantastic. There we have it. Ahmed Roach is the founder of Camel Business Solutions, who help businesses design and implement digital strategies to increase conversions and revenue. He found his first customer through LinkedIn by getting out on the DMs, getting out in front of people, and resulted in a very fluky sales call 2 days later, I must say, to close your first deal. Very exciting, Ahmed. He uses Documents on his iPhone, the app for what it sounds like everything on there. I'm going to have to check that app out. I try and get rid of some apps on my iPhone. He's currently reading and recommends Psycho-Cybernetics, a fantastic book if you want to master your mindset issues as an entrepreneur. And he loves watching Benjamin Hardy on the motivational YouTube content, and we should be keeping an eye on the entrepreneur Taylor Welch, who has got a Daily Mind Medicine podcast, although it's just finished, but we can always link to that and look at the past episodes, I'm sure. And get in contact with Ahmed. Check out LinkedIn, just Ahmed Roach. That's AHMEDROACH, and the LinkedIn. I'm sure he'll gladly accept new connections. And his website, ahmedroach.com. That's AHMEDROACH.com. Check that out to find out more about what he's doing with Camel Business Solutions. Ahmed, it's been great having you on the podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on the JOD Pod. To ensure that you don't miss out on any of these interviews with entrepreneurs and founders just like Ahmed, please play the YouTube game, subscribe, hit the like button, bang the bell. And if you've got any questions for Ahmed about marketing, about funnels, anything like that, drop them in the comments below, and I'm sure Ahmed will come along and answer each and every single one of them. Hopefully you've been inspired by Ahmed and what he's been talking about today with his own business and what you can do marketing your own business, talking to customers. Please go and build something yourself and inspire the next generation. Thanks for joining us today on the JOD Pod. If you enjoyed this interview, why don't you check out some of these other interviews that we've done on the JOD Pod. More inspirational CEOs, coaches, entrepreneurs, founders, and authors. I'm sure there's something here that will inspire you to build something new.